Why hello there everyone, my name is Thorus Gaming, and today, and my skin's not loaded, but today I'm showing you the new Tekkit Classic, which is actually, we've been doing with my cousin, with this channel, which you also check in the description below. And so, I did a couple videos with them, and a lot of people have been asking for tutorials on this thing to do, and they don't know how to use the machines and what's going on in this mod. So, first things first, we're going to take a look at the new ores in this mod. There's actually quite a few. So the first ore we got here is copper, and I'm using the regular, I'm not using any texture packs, so this is all the same. But, so this is copper. Melted, you get a copper ingot. This is tin. It's similar to silver. As you see, this is silver. It's got a little bit of a bluish hue to it. Tin equals tin bar as well. Silver equals silver ingot. It's actually got the name ingot. Now, these three gems look extremely similar, it's just the color. So this is ruby, emerald, and sapphire. Sapphire, emerald, and ruby. And the only purpose for these is to make tools. So they're pretty much the same thing. They have no special attributes of which color. It's just what's your favorite color. This is nickelite. It's also considered fool's diamonds. It looks very similar to diamond, for example. There. It's almost like fool's diamond at this point. This is tundramanium or tungsten ore, and this literally has no purpose except for you put in the condenser, which I will explain in a future video. And you don't actually get ingot out of this. Oh, and I also forgot to mention nickelite. You actually get nickelite dust. It's like a redstone dust. So we have uranium. Now, the thing about uranium is it can spawn throughout the entire world, and it's extremely rare. So, you do find uranium, and it's got quite a bit of see. Now, I did actually rank the ores from most common to most rare, and I found out that it goes iron, tin, silver, gems, nickelite, tungramanium, and uranium, but that's not including the vanilla ores. I didn't actually put any of those in. With that being said, so those are the ores, and there's a lot of new things added in Tekkit with industrial craft and build craft and all that, so this is what it's about. So first up, we have the iron furnace. Now this is the most basic thing that you can make in Tekkit, and if I'm not sure, yeah, yes it is. And to craft a iron furnace, you need 5 ingots, 5 iron ingots, and a regular furnace, and you make iron furnace. Now these are actually more efficient than regular furnaces, and you also upgrade these to electric furnaces, which I will again explain. Now, one thing that you're gonna need to consider is you take an iron ingot, place it in the furnace, and this is gonna make something called refined iron, which is a very, very useful item in industrial crafts. These are used for many recipes. As you can see, I now have refined iron. Machine block. This is another thing that's used for very many recipes. Can also be placed down. You need 8 refined iron, almost like a chest formation, and you can make machine block. Now, again, this only has purposes for as a block and for crafting recipes, so it's not very extremely useful. Okay, this is insulated copper wire, and this is extremely useful because it's going to be used for your machinery. Now, you need 3 copper and rubber. Alright? Now, you may be wondering, how do you get rubber? Well, it's very simple. You need sticky resin. Now, to get sticky resin, you're going to have to go over to a marshy biome, or a, yeah, it's the marshy biome. It's either marsh or marshy, whatever you want to call it, the swamp biome, and you're going to find a jungle tree. Now, this is what a jungle tree looks like, and they have 3 stems on the top, so it's actually quite cute here. And, so, this is actually, this is the actual, the very basic mod, the very first basic thing is the tree tap, which requires 5 wood to craft. And why it's so useful, you also make electric tree taps out of this as well, is that you're able to tap the tree for sticky resin, as you can see. And this smelted makes rubber. This is why the tap is so important. Now, that being said, I can now show you rubber, which is all the way back at this little area I created. So you pretty much You can put it in any furnace. I just used an iron furnace for demonstration since we already used it, so. And that will give you rubber. So this is used to make insulated copper wires. You can actually make uninsulated, but it's not recommended since this can actually shock you and you take damage, and B, if you're placing it in water, it will shock you again. So it's good to keep them insulated with rubber. There's apparently some zombie swimming. Okay, so the next basic thing you're gonna need is actually somewhat costly, because you're gonna need some redstone and some tin. You're gonna need 4 tin, 2 redstone, and a insulated copper wire or cable. And this makes an RE battery. Now, what an RE battery is, it's technically referred to as the rechargeable battery, reusable battery. So this can actually be charged in a generator. And to make a generator, you actually need an RE battery as well. But there's a reason why I put 2 project tables, because there's 2 ways to make it. So you can either use a furnace, a machine block, and an RE battery to make a generator, or you can use an iron furnace, 3 refined iron, and an RE battery to make one. Now generators are quite useful because, you use all these items to power it. You actually use a ton more, but I'm just showing you. This is mainly wood items, so I can put wood in here to power it. It does eat up a lot, though. Wood's not the most efficient. Coal is very efficient, though. And we'll later get into other energy efficient items like solar panels and geothermal generators and all that, but this is just the basic stuff right now. So as you see, it's filling up, and you can actually recharge your items in here as well, so that's just show. Alright, so the next basic item you can actually make, which is actually even more easier to make from the generator, is something called a battery box. Now, this is to hold charge, so as you can see, it holds power. And this produces power, this holds power, that's how you can get the point. And to make it, you need 5 wood, a insulated copper cable, and 3 batteries. So you're actually going to have to use quite a bit of resources, since it required 4 tin, 2 redstone, and copper cables. So it's going to require quite a lot of resources. Now I put copper cables in here for a reason, because I'm just going to show you that it can be easily powered, and it needs generator power to power it, or any other source of power, really. And this is the way. So I'm going to put coal in here. This, as you can see, the red bar doesn't fill up, and actually directs it over to this bat box right here. Excuse me for a moment. Alright. And this will actually power most of your electronics that you can make in this game. So I'm just going to put the battery in here, and as you can see, it starts to power it. This is all a very useful example. And yeah. So the next part is electronic circuits. Now this is another basic crafting item in this game, but it does require, again, a little bit of resources. It requires more copper cables than anything. And it requires 6 copper cables, 2 redstone, and a refined iron. For example, I'm going to show you how to use it, so electronic circuit. And one of the most basic items that you'll make off right the back, in terms of electronics, isn't really the battery box. It just stores power, but I mean actually used and can do something with that power. And it's the macerator. Now this actually requires a little bit to make as well. It's not that hard really, but so you need an electronic circuit, which I just showed you. You need a machine block, which again is 8 refined iron. You need 2 cobblestone and 3 flint. So they're not entirely hard to make, and that makes you a macerator. And what the macerator does actually is it uses power from a generator or any other energy source, and it converts it to its own usage. Now, what it does really is it makes dust out of ores. So I'm actually just gonna connect those together, and it can make dust out of ores. As you see, I already got a battery in here. So if I put iron in, that's very low. It'll actually turn that ore into dust. Now, what the dust actually does is you can make other dust. You can make other bars with it. For example, bronze is used by making like finding tin and copper dust together. You need 3 copper and 1 tin, but that's not very important. But so as you can see, make 2 dust from 1 ore. Now that 2 dust can be re-smelted into 2 bars. So in general, you are actually getting 2 for the price of 1. It's a very useful tool, especially if you have a quarry attached to it, which again I'll explain in another video. And you can actually use this with most ores except most gems that you can get. You can't really use it with these and nicolite and tundramanium and uranium because you actually get something out of them. But you can definitely use it with silver, tin, copper. You can actually use it with other ores as well, but good luck getting them unless you go and cheat. So you can actually use it with gold, iron. You can actually also grind coal, which actually makes coal dust, which is used in many recipes as well. So as you can see, he's got a bunch of dust. So tin, copper, gold, iron, coal. I think there's also another dust, clay dust. Trying to find the dust. Refined iron dust as well. And I think that's most of the dust, really. Well, that's just one more, it's not dust. But so these are the really basic materials that you're gonna need, and this is just really basic machinery. I'll do the really advanced stuff as I continue on in the video. And so another thing to point out is there's also some randomly spawning let's just say modulars, for example. Oil wells also spawn like increasingly, depends on which biome. It also depends on which biome that can affect it. So this is actually a really large oil spell right here. So if I want to go down, no, this takes way too long. So yeah, I found it really, yeah, you see it goes all the way down. Now you may be thinking, oil, I see, but what do I do with it? Oil can be used to convert it into fuel, but the problem with fuel is that you'll need build craft items, which I will again show in another video. So you're gonna have to stay tuned for what oil is. But there's also one more thing I can show you that if I can get to, which I think goes over here. I'm not entirely sure. Before it lags. Or you can just do that. Okay, that works. I think it was in here. I'm not entirely sure. But well, okay. So what I was trying to show you is there was a there's also like a different naturally occurring substance as well, but I apparently can show you. I'm gonna see if I can find it. No. Find this. It actually can also occur in caves as well. It's very common to occur in caves, so I'm just gonna show you like what it might look like. So I found this a ton in caves for a reason I don't know why, but it's very common to get in caves as well as overground. So oil can actually also very easily from the taiga. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Taiga or the tundra biomes, which is the really snowy ones. They'll spawn a lot in there, and they'll also spawn a lot out sea as well. And deserts. Deserts actually have the most because it's like the oil sands, but the main part you want to look is for the sea because it's very easy to get oil because it's really easy to see, obviously, because they spout upwards. The sand is a little bit harder because sometimes it can be buried in sand, like again, like the sand, like the oil sands. But yeah, like I just found the tallest one. This is probably one of the massive ones, and they're really rare to get. So I actually was pretty lucky. You'll actually be able to find smaller ones with this, but if I actually go down, there's going to just be like a massive circle hole with just filled to the rim with oil. But yeah, oil is used to make fuel, which powers machines, and I will tell you how to do that in another video again. So again, my skin hasn't loaded for whatever reason, I don't know why. But thank you all for watching. I am Thorus Gaming. Peace out.